Hello, my name is Sam, Vice President of the Harvard Game Devs, and today I'm actually going to be giving a talk, more of a kind of like a presentation on kind of like getting into making video game music. Now, I'm just going to preface this with saying that like this is not how I'm going to say like if you're going to get into video game music, this is the way that you're going to do it. This is more kind of like depicting like kind of how I got into it, how I like some strategies that I used getting into it, the software that I used. And maybe that'll be able to help people that want to jumpstart and get into making music of their own. So first, before anything else, I kind of want to let's go back to junior year of high school. That would have been, what, 5 years ago at this point? I think 5 years ago.
5 years ago.
Yeah. So, like, I hadn't done any composition. I was mostly like a percussionist. I studied music a bit, but like, I wasn't like a composer by any means. So I decided to like, I think this is around the time I first played Undertale for the first time. So I'm sure that everyone knows this little punky character, right? Everyone knows this song, just in case anyone's forgotten. God, why? Why do you do this to me every freaking time? Okay, give me one moment so I can. Let's see. Is this gonna work now? You feel like working? There we go. Cool. Okay, it feels like working now. Like everyone knows this song, right? Might have heard of this at one point. Yeah. So for anyone that hasn't and doesn't know for some reason, a song called Megalovania is the song that actually convinced me to play Undertale, and also it is the song that really helped me kind of jumpstart myself into composing music. Like what I actually have pulled up here, I would call this pretty much the first video game-esque song I have ever written, and like after hearing that a little bit, let's just see if people can hear the connection. So essentially, so obviously I definitely took some creative inspiration from Megalovania when writing this, but that is actually, I think, but that being said, that's also the reason I even got into this to begin with. Like, I've been listening to Megalovania a bunch, I've like kind of noticed some trends, like, I won't be able to get into like the specific trends like in a bit, but essentially, a lot of the ideas that Toby Fox does in this song, I kind of took them, played with them a bit on my own, and then I eventually made it into this, which I think is a great way to get started into composition. Like, have that one song that you really, really like, listen to it a bunch, and then just try to emulate that style. Because once you do that, once you kind of get your foot in the floor, like get your foot in the door, then you start to have room to be able to experiment and do your own thing. So, what we're going to do today is we're going to essentially do what I call the Megalovania method. So we're going to analyze aspects of Megalovania and then use that to write our own, it won't be quite this long, for instance, but like our own small track that like is like very like heavily inspired from the piece, and hopefully that'll give people an idea of like how maybe they could apply these ideas that we're doing today into writing their own stuff. So, Megalovania. Let's actually start breaking it down. So, begins. So we've got this essentially. We've got this sort of repetitive, like this repetitive line. Actually, let me actually turn volume up on this. And then it repeats. It just keeps doing that over again. And like it does that over and over again. So that's kind of like the foundation. That's like one of the key foundations of this piece. You've kind of got this like nice digging kind of rhythmic aspect that everyone can kind of just kind of like bob their head to, kind of like really jam out to. And then, so then what comes in here? So we have this like this now this bass note coming in. So essentially that is like giving it a little bit more, essentially a little bit more context. Like, So we've got like these notes that are just adding a little bit more foundation, and they're kind of like and they're just giving just adding a little bit more spice to this. So because like if we hear them together, it sounds a little bit more complete, right? So that's actually, and so that's a really good way. We can start off honestly many pieces. Just come up with this nice kind of rhythmic bass line that sounds pretty cool. Have like some really kind of like longer tones beneath that, and then we can actually start to do some things with that. So let's actually go into writing a little bit. So for reference, this program right here is called Ableton Live. So Ableton Live is a piece of software. Let's actually find the right website. Yeah, so it's a very professional software. A lot of people use it, like electronic musicians, especially people who produce. So the full version does cost some money, but it has a light version, which comes with a lot of the features that normal Ableton does. It is like there are some things where it's limited. Actually, let's just look up Ableton Live Lite. Yeah, here we are. So yeah, so this is actually completely free. It's like fully for getting started for people who kind of want to like step in, try some things on their own. It does have some limitations to it, but anyone that wants to get started doing this, I highly recommend checking this out. It can be a little bit daunting at first, absolutely, but it's something that once you kind of like mess around with it, a lot of music making is just messing around and seeing what sounds good, seeing what you enjoy doing. So really, so this is like probably the big recommendation that I would give because it's the one that I have the most experience with. So let's honestly start making something. So I've got a bunch of like different sounds here. So I'm just gonna go down and just kind of find one that sounds cool. Alright, so here's something that let's maybe go with this one. So this can kind of be like our kind of more baby bassy sort of thing. So that's like the Megalovania. Let's try to do something a little bit different from that. I don't know, like one second. I'm just gonna kind of jam out a bit. Okay, so there's something maybe that we go off of. So maybe we can do something like, okay, let's just get a track going, and then we're going to go in and edit it a little bit. Yeah, so this is going to go pretty fast, so feel free to stop me and ask me what I'm doing, because a lot of this is going to move pretty quickly. So I'm happy to explain what I'm doing, but essentially kind of what I want to, like the main focus here is just kind of give an idea into kind of like my work process and see kind of like how I'm doing things. So like, let's get this down to let's get this to the right octave, just so you can see everything. Let's see, so we're going to make sure just get these in the offbeat, and then alright, so let's just hear how that sounds real quick. Okay, so we can just hear that's how this one measure sounds. Let's see, that does not sound right. Let's try this. Okay, so we got something that we go off of. So now let's just add a little bit. We'll just add a little bit of variance. Similar to like how Megalovania has. So we got this first note, but then the next iteration it goes. So it just has like a small change that adds a little bit of extra impact. So we can even like do something similar to that here. So we'll duplicate that. Cool. And then so I got yeah, let's see, we could do that. Let's see, so let's see, so maybe we'll make it go up a little bit. Let's see, it's like So so we can go like. Then we'll go here. Let's see, what's the shortcut on map again? Okay, there we go. So then we'll go to it's not quite right. Okay, that's fine. Okay, cool. So we'll move that there, move that there. That's the way it's not quite. Oh, that's fine. Because this needs to go a little more. Let's see. So is this going to go down? Actually, that sounds kind of cool. Yeah, actually, let's go with that first. Let's maybe go with that, see how this sounds. Let's see how these two measures sound together now. Alright, so that sounds pretty cool. So, what we can do here is we can join these, duplicate this once more, and then we'll keep this first measure the same, and then we'll actually add some variance in this last one. So like so. Yeah, we'll go up to that. We'll start by going up to that C. Oh, that's nice. Ah, man, sometimes what'll happen is I'll play something and then forget immediately what I played. So sometimes that'll happen. So what we can do here is we can go. Okay, cool. So now let's see what we actually have all together. Okay, so we have something. It's something that we can work from here. So one thing I might do real quick is I might just add a little bit of separation here. This is. No, there we go. Now we have a little bit of extra separation. Cool. So now what we want to do is, like, if we're going back to here, now we want to see about that bass line. So first thing we can do is let's take a look at some of the possible bass sounds we can use. Probably want something a little bit more pure. Something a little bit more that won't like get in the way. That'll just kind of like be able to kind of go down. I wonder if this will work. I have no idea. A lot of this will just be trial and error. See what happens. No, that's a bit too. Oh, sometimes that'll happen. That's actually a bug with this. So give me a second. Yes. Let's try this again. Now it's a bit. Maybe this will sound good. Let's try this. No, because that doesn't sound. That actually kind of sounds pretty cool. I don't know, but might actually throw this in instead. I'm going to do is I'm going to quantize this, which means that each of these are going to be mapped to like the, essentially that these are each going to be mapped to the correct beats, rather than just kind of like being off by a slight little margin. So if we do this, we can see how everything kind of got moved, shifted around to make sure that they fall right in on the downbeats. So, I think that's the glitch coming in again. Yep, there it is. We can just get rid of that. You probably won't need to worry about this when you're working with your own things. It's just this particular keyboard gives me that issue. Okay. So
why is that note overlapping a bit?
This one?
Yeah.
Let me.
You can just do quantize to like a 60.
Yeah. So what I can do here, what I can do here is I can,
shorten it.
Yeah, I can just manually shorten it. But yeah, sometimes that'll happen as well. Because essentially, the quantize will just move things over so that they start on the beat. But it doesn't have anything to do with ending on the beat. So. Oh my god, it's doing that freaking glitch again. I hate this sometimes. So we'll just do this, move this over. Now do this. Hear what I'm saying? So we already have something that has that sort of vibe that we might be going for if we're trying to recreate the Megalovania track. So let us let's throw some drums real quick. This is one of my favorite parts of making a track. Where are you drums?
That sounds
Okay, oh no, right here. Here we are. So let's see here. So, because it'll always, because it'll give you like a sample of each of them. Yeah, let's just use one that usually comes with like the light kit, so just so we don't have to deal with any of the extra stuff. So. Let's play a little bit more. Let's up the tempo a little bit. Let's up the tempo.
Wait, you can just do that? What the heck?
Yep.
You're just making it faster.
Yeah.
But doesn't that increase the pitch?
No.
Oh wow.
Alright, cool. So
it's already coming together. What the heck?
Yeah. So let's okay. So I'll just copy this a couple times just so we can get some things going. So.
And you just Command C, Command V.
So Ableton has something pretty cool. Actually, I do have to go through this because this is not the exact length, but Ableton in particular has something cool where I can just do Command D. So I'm highlighting this right now. I Command D. It just duplicates it immediately after.
Oh wow.
So essentially, when you're dealing with loops, that's super useful. Which is one thing that these sort of DAWs have over like notation softwares like MuseScore. Like MuseScore is kind of nice; it has that sort of feature, but it's like easier to visualize. I feel in this. So we'll just you can also highlight multiple things and do the same thing and highlight and duplicate both of them. Oops. Yeah. So let's.
And how did you change the tempo?
And so up here, it's really hard to see. So like in this top left corner, there's like you see a 144.00.
Oh, I see.
That's the tempo. So I can just like drag it down.
Wait, make it really slow so it happens. That's horrifying. Undo that. No. No, stop it.
I actually like the original speed.
I like when it was going really fast. That was good. Like go to the Eurobeat speed.
Eurobeat speed is like 180.
Yeah, go to 180. Go and have to. Wait. You could actually turn it into a Eurobeat song.
So that is possible. In the end, we can meme around a bit and try that because I've looked actually into making like what sort of sounds go into making Eurobeat. So we'll see. So this is a little bit faster than we had before. It has a little bit more energy, but it's like still a little bit slower than what we had. Like it's because it's right in the middle of 132. Okay, so maybe what we'll do.
Can you make it a bit faster? Just a hair.
Just a hair. Oh my god. 136.
No, do 138.
Oh my This is where we're going. So let's do, if we're gonna emulate, for instance, if we want to emulate the form, for instance. So because we notice how it start off with just the riff, right? So well, we should probably stop the loop. Oh, there we go. Now what? No, that wasn't. So one thing we'll see. So what we'll probably do is we'll have 16 notes. We'll have like kind of done. So let's see what we do here is we'll have that.
Is it weird to play drums on the keyboard?
It's a little weird, but you get used to it. I'm a little bit used to it, and I kind of sort of think about it the same way I would do drums, just like with my fingers instead of like with my hand. So, also, yeah, it's one of those things where the more you do it, the more you get used to it. Really, that's a lot of music. The more you do it, and the more you just try it a bunch, the better you get at it. So we can do 16 notes. We'll go snare. Or we will have that lean in a bit. So, let's see, so maybe we'll actually double that. Let's double that actually, because oh wait, that's one. Down. That's one. So what we do is we'll drop those down. Then we will make those crescendo. That's actually try this up so we can control. And there we go. So what we'll get here is, so that'll kind of be the snares that's leading us in. So what I'm doing here, this might be a little bit hard to see in the light, but so we've got like this red, kind of like these red lines that are coming up. That's essentially what in Ableton and MIDI in general, it's called the velocity. So essentially, so every little MIDI signal will send in information about what note you're playing. So we can see that, we can see that right here. But it also sends information about the intensity, or it very often corresponds to the volume of whatever note you're playing. And that's where this velocity comes into play. MIDI nowadays, because you can send more signals with that sort of stuff, but it's kind of the foundation of what MIDI was and kind of how it works nowadays. Also, before I get ahead of myself, does everyone have a general idea of what MIDI is?
Do you think you could explain?
Yes, because that's actually a good thing to talk about. So essentially, if we kind of look at what we're doing here, notice how we have all these individual. Let's see. So if we try this up, we have all these individual notes, and we have these are all essentially different signals. We're not it's not as if we're taking a microphone and asking someone, hey, play these notes, play all this stuff that we're writing and have it play for us. This is all digitally generated. So MIDI is the way we do that. So each of these sounds we have, for each of these MIDI notes, plays a different sound. So for instance, this drum set knows when it hears this this snare signal, it says, okay, I'm gonna play this sampled note, and I'm going to play it at whatever velocity we have it sampled at. Because essentially when you're sampling, you'll have whatever note it is, and you'll have it played at a bunch of different velocities. And so that's essentially how you get these sort of sound packs. And so when we're actually writing this stuff, digitally, then what we'll be doing is we'll be just telling it, okay, this is the sound I'm looking for at this point, and it'll just play it back. It's also why these sound packs take up so much memory. I have a couple of these that just take up a couple gigabytes of memory just because of how many different sounds are on. So in this case, this snare is actually a pretty standard, normal, par for the course one. So what we can do from here is, so what the funny thing for instance, right? So we have these different notes, right, for these two different tracks. So I'll just load these for a second. So for instance, we could just if we wanted to, let's go here. We could just switch them if we wanted. We can just move this down. We can move this up here. And then, this is something that we can't do. It just happens that the sound fonts, we pick them to have corresponding roles. But this is something that we could theoretically do. And in some cases, sometimes you just want to experiment and see how things sound. I'm glad we tried that, because now I know I don't want to do that. But also knowing what you don't want to do is pretty valuable as well. So, let's see, so we'll throw in a crash there. Let's see, we should probably stop soloing that track so we can actually hear it. There we go. Cool, so. Let's see. Alright, cool. So we'll have that going in the hi-hats, for instance. So we've got that hi-hat closed, that sound. Then we have a hi-hat open. Alright, so that'll look something like dum, like cool. So dum, dum. Cool. So it'll just be that, and we can just repeat that a bunch of times. So similarly to how we duplicated before, we can duplicate this as well, which makes making this drum tracks in particular a lot easier. So we can do so let's just copy this a couple more times. There we go. So like. Why are you doing this? Oh, okay. Interesting. So yeah, so we can see that that is not as we expected. And why is that? Oh, because it was this one. Got it. That makes sense. So we'll just duplicate that a couple times. And there we go. Now, well, we don't want this, because we see here how we have like the snare drums that lead up to it. We don't want that, so we'll just cut that out, and then we'll move this over. There we go. Now we're good to go.
Wait, how does it sound now?
All right, let's see. Cool. So we'll probably want to have like a little fill, like a little bit of fade, like a little bit of transition into like the next repetition. But this is good for now. This is fine. So now, like we got hi-hat beat. Let's do something with this, with the bass and the snare. So that could be something. So let's see. I'm just gonna loop this a little bit until I find something that I kind of like. So like we loop that. I keep going right back to that. So we might just go for that actually. So
Do you want to add another instrument?
we will definitely be doing that.
Okay.
But we're just gonna throw in the drum set just so we can keep that groove going first. And then we'll go back to the melodic stuff. Oh, actually, good thing to note. What I did there is when I recorded over this track, so it just overwrote everything that I did before. Luckily, in MIDI, so if we see this little plus sign up here, we can just hit that, and that is what we call, what is the term that we normally use for it? MIDI arrangement overdub. So essentially, when you're overdubbing, it means that you take what you have before, and all you're doing is adding on to it. So now, if we try to record, now, what we're going to do is so remember, so we just live recorded, right? And now we can sort of see here, we have like some of these notes that are a little bit off from where they should be. Just for instance, like we see like right here, it's like we want this kick drum to be like right there, but it's like a little bit before that. So we go back, we'll just highlight everything. We're going to quantize settings, 16 notes, good. And then we quantize. Let's see how it sounds. Okay, so we have that one. Sometimes when I'm just that bad, it goes to the next note that I didn't want. So let's just see how this sounds real quick. So, but luckily I fixed that. Cool. Okay, sick. So that's pretty good so far. So yeah. So now we've got a drum groove, which we can just copy over a bit, and let's just hear it from the beginning real quick, just so we can kind of get a sense of how it sounds. Where are you? There we go. bit of volume shift, so we're just going to lower the volume of all of these right now. So maybe we can get that transition a little better. Yeah, because like, let's see, maybe if we, actually, maybe what we'll do is we'll increase the volume of all these snare drum hits. And that might lead us in a little bit better. Yeah, you know, we'll just like, we're just gonna lower the volume of all these because like that's a little bit too heavy for our tastes, I think. Yeah, so let's just lower these a bit. Yeah, so those are a little bit more. And now we can even actually increase these a bit. Okay, cool. So that transition sounds a little bit better. Cool. Nice. So now what we can do, yeah. So Ruby, you suggested that we want to add another instrument, right?
Okay.
Because notice how we have like the structure, we have like the rhythmic structure of this, right? But let's Megalovania is not just rhythmic structure. Then here. It's got a little melody line that comes in first verse. So let's try to come up with something. It doesn't have to be like perfect, but like let's see what we're going for. So we have like, let's see, so we have like a, okay, so we've got like this sort of sound, we've got like a lower, and then we have our drum set.
I think you should use a flute.
We use a flute? We can do that. Let's see here what I've got. Okay, sounds. Actually, let's just go to, actually not plugins. Orchestral woodwinds, sounds, and where are you? Alto, we have alto flute, concert flute. Cool. Yeah, these are like more high quality ones that came with the full version of Ableton. Do recommend if that's what you like. So, okay, let's go up here. Why are you not? Do I need to? Oh right, this is solo, right? Yeah. So the thing with this flute is like we notice that's a little bit quieter, I think.
Maybe
so, like,
clarinet.
So for instance, if we try playing on this. Like it doesn't really come out as much. So what we're going to do real quick is we're going to actually, we can actually just lower the volume of all these by
Wait, so
a bit.
what is this screen?
This, oh yes. So what we had before, this is called arrangement view.
Okay.
So essentially we have all these these note tracks that we can move around and do as we want, right? This is called session view. So this is kind of like dealing with the more mixing side of it. I can get into this more in detail maybe later, but the general gist of it is that this deals with kind of like volume and panning. So actually, does this room have stereo speakers? Let's find out. So let's see. So let's try playing this real quick. Okay, so let's actually, we're going to turn up the volume on this, just so we can hear it. So does that change anything? No, that's just mono. Okay, that's unfortunate. So if we were wearing headphones, then what I did here, if I turn this all the way to the right, it means nothing would be coming out of my left ear. It would all be coming out of my right ear. Similarly, if I moved all the way to the left, everything would be coming out of my left ear, but nothing in my right ear. So this is like particularly important if it's particularly important for some reasons, because especially when you separate the sound, it's very, very important to keep things clean. But we can talk about that a little bit more later on. The main thing that we want to worry about right now is just raw volume. So for instance, just the fact that we're going to want this flute to be a bit louder. So we'll just lower these a bit. Just that this can come out. Cool. Let's see. So this will probably work a bit better. So what we're going to do here is because we're now looking for a melody line, right? So one thing I like to do here is, as per usual, I'll just kind of loop this. And I'll just kind of mess around a bit. I'll just kind of like see what sticks. I'll like throw a bunch of things at a wall and see what sticks. Okay, so wait.
I like that.
So we're gonna want that in now. Oh, there could be something there. So like, I say no, because it doesn't like, it's like, the problem is like, for me, that feels like it's like dragging a bit much. So it's like, maybe if we did that. Oh, so that's okay, there's something more there. Okay. Okay, so. Right, let's move on. Okay, so alright, there's something. There's something that we can use, maybe. We can go from there. And for this, because I don't trust myself to play it that fast, well, one thing we can actually do, slow down a bit.
Slow down the tempo.
Yep. So let's just try this real quick, and we'll see how this kind of fits in. All right, cool. So let's see here. Let's just kind of see how this. Cool. So now, so obviously we see that this is not very in time that much. So we're just going to
quantize.
What we can do.
Quantize time.
It is quantized. It's quantized time. Exactly. Like,
is that like the most useful thing for like if you're like?
It is one of the many useful things. Okay, so why? Okay, so because normally I can. Why are you not?
Is it too thick?
There we go. No, it just right. I just want to. So there we go. This. So we'll just put this right here. There we go. So now, it's quantized time.
Wait, what's the stuff in the beginning before it?
Oh, so like the first time I played it, oh actually, well, you know, let's just take this actually. And then so this is like essentially the first repetition. And the second one, because it looped back in on itself, it like re-recorded some things. So we're just gonna take this first half, because I like this, because that way we won't deal with that. So if we have, okay, so as I said, we want to take this first half. Thank you. Okay, so ties.
Oh, you should probably fix that.
Yeah.
God, Sam, you missed a single note. I think I might
Let's see. Okay, so yeah, so I think what we'll do is we'll do that. So this will change it how it sounds a little bit more. Yes, that sounds pretty nice. So. Cool. So now you're wondering, well, this is not going to be useful at a slow tempo. So let's speed it back up.
Oh God, what's it gonna sound like?
Alright, so we had some good stuff in there, but it's not like perfect. So let's look at it. So this is good. So this like drags a little bit. So, but like we can see like we're on the beat. So like why is that? So what we're gonna do is let's actually
Wait, what do you mean drag?
So let's listen to it. So it feels like it's like dragging behind. It's kind of like pulling us back.
Okay.
But we want this to like be driving forward because like for something like this, we really want to push it forward. So what we need, but a part of that is just because that's just because of like the flute sound effect. Like there's like a little delay. It's like ba-da, ba-da. So like that, it doesn't like quite, it doesn't quite immediately. Yeah. So let's try. Let's just make these all full because sometimes that increases. Sometimes like the velocity will like impact like higher velocity will sometimes just mean that it comes out quicker just because of like if you think about how a flute player plays, like that if like they're trying to play soft, it'll take a little bit longer for the sound to activate. Whereas if they're playing really fast, there'll be that immediate activation. So let's see if this does anything. Let's see. I wonder if so if we go here. Oh, actually interesting. So actually we see here that this just dragged behind a bit. So if we, let's try this then. So if we move this back, let's see.
Oh yeah.
Let's see, so this might be the way to go. Okay, yeah, this is the way to go about it.
I feel like it's a little early.
Yeah, it's a little early, so let's see here. Yeah,
So
so
it gets you on the
because sometimes it's just like takes like singing out and just sing over.
Can you just speed up each triplet so it just takes each triplet takes one beat?
So like essentially each of the let's see. Yeah, that's probably the way to go about it. Yeah, that's probably the way to go about it. So we can bring this earlier, we can bring this. Let's see, so let's actually move to 16 notes just so it's easier to read. Okay, there we go. So let's do that, do this. Let's see, okay. So we do. So that like it still feels like a little. So let's do that.
Yeah.
So let's move these
Yeah.
over. Let's see here. So let's see. So almost. Yes, it's like almost there. So.
What if
So
you
me?
just extended that one? Yeah.
So I could extend. What I might do is I might just lower this volume a bit so it like leads in. What I might do. Let's see. So let's slow this down a bit so we can just so like it'll just make more sense. Okay, so. So we want this to drag through. Or maybe actually this could just.
On the beat.
Yeah, I don't know. This is one of those things where it's like it's almost there.
I put each triplet on the beat.
Yeah, because the way I'm sort of seeing it is like bum, bada bum, bada dum, bada bum, bada bum, bada bum, bada bum. So it's like kind of like that's how I'm sort of seeing it. But like there's like bada bum, bada bum, bada bum, bada bum. Like that's also that is a valid way we could approach this. I'm just trying to. Yeah, it's just the way I'm sort of seeing it is I want each of these to kind of like lead into the next part. So.
The length would be a beat, but it would just be opposite, right?
Yes, essentially, yeah. So rather than like, we've got, so it's like, so rather than like, so rather than this, we have like, or, so it's like, it just depends on where the accent is.
Got it.
Okay, so let's try this real quick. sound quite as well. Like at faster tempos. So like, let's just hear this once.
Yeah. It's the long one. The long one doesn't sound.
Yeah, it doesn't quite sound like, but it's a small thing. So let's see.
Yeah, the long one. There it is.
I see. Maybe let's just. Honestly, for me, I actually like this personally. I don't like this.
Try shortening the long one, see what happens. Just like a bit.
Yeah. So like,
It's like
because having the separation can work. Yeah. So like.
I also agree. That long one is also bad.
Yeah.
The long ones are bad.
That's just because you listen to your beat.
That's fair. That's fair.
Oh, okay, I think I want me to do this.
Yeah. Don't make it sound too jazzy.
Oh yeah, so here's what we'll do. Okay, yeah, so here's how it's done. Almost. Let's see, so let's see. Let's see, so okay, so here's what we'll do. Let's see, so we'll do this. Let's see, so maybe we'll just go up and down. Maybe we'll go B flat. Alright, cool. Maybe like let's throw it out. Just a little. We'll just lower this a bit, just so we can see how that sounds. Add a little bit of tension. Nah, that's fine now. So maybe what we'll do actually, here's what we'll do. We'll move these up. That way we actually have a little bit more. Yeah, there. There. I like how this sounds. Cool. All right. So now we've got. This obviously that's not to say this can't be edited in the future, right? But it's something that we have. Just to be sure. This is just my own paranoia. Quantize.
Quantize.
Also, yeah, I'm just gonna get rid of all this just so we have just a.
No, but there was a little thing that you changed when you went to the second loop.
Well, yeah, that was just because what happened is that when I stopped the recording, I held down the first note on the second loop, so I was trying to readjust that. But the first one didn't have that problem. So.
I liked it though. I thought it was good, but.
Yeah, for me is that that's not to say it couldn't be changed on the second iteration because right now this is just 4 measures.
Okay, that's fair.
So duplicate. So, because let's actually listen to how Megalovania handles this. Oh, actually. Now it has these 2 notes played in unison. So that's how it's at the beginning, right? But then it goes. So we've got now those essentially those 2 notes that are coming in together. So let's try emulating that. See what happens. So we could do it with the flute. What I might do is, let's stick with the movement of it. You know what? Hey Ruby, this one will be for you.
Oh no.
This one will be for you.
Clarinet.
Clarinet. Let's start with clarinet. Let's see what happens. I've never actually used clarinet in my pieces, so we'll see how this happens.
This is electro orchestra.
Okay. There we go. That's actually quick thing. I want to try lowering this by an octave. That's how
it used to sound.
I actually like how that sounds a little bit more, personally, just because I like it a little bit more, just because get a little bit of that darker sound. Plus, it'll sound better with the clarinet. You get more of that nice clarinet sound. So let's just
reed suckers.
Okay. Oh no.
Oh yikes.
So one thing we can do, so we're gonna move this down. Cool. So we're gonna move these, just so we can hear these isolation, right? Let's see. So usually, if we we can listen to let's listen to this one. So the first half is actually kind of similar to the first half of the main section. Then it goes a little bit different because it's got the that's completely different from the first half. But the first two measures are pretty similar, so we can copy that here. So so for instance, so we can have so actually, what's the best way to go about this? So we can just actually have maybe actually maybe we'll just have so maybe we'll actually have that because then we can throw in. Because then we can we won't because we're jumping around a lot, which makes it a little bit hard. I don't know because. I don't know. So I'm just gonna see how this sounds. Let's see. Really, just because I feel like it. Where are you? Where is that? Or am I in the wrong one? Oh, that's why. Okay. Whoops. Let's get this where it belongs, and then move this down here. Cool. There you are. Let's see. So move these to 16 notes. They're already there. Good. Alright, so let's just see how this sounds. Let's see, so could let's see, because I mean, because the problem is they're getting maybe actually no, maybe we will. No, we'll keep these an octave up, I think. Oh no, that's not an octave up. Yeah, this way we can make sure that there's not too much conflict between the flute and clarinet. Yeah, so that way they're not really getting each other's way quite as much. So the problem is dragging. So if we have this. Yeah, I think that's because of the clarinet. Maybe using the clarinet is a bad idea, actually. Maybe that's a bad idea.
I think it's good.
Yeah, the problem is
yeah, I see what you're saying. Maybe use the trombone.
Let's see. Maybe.
The clarinet is great.
Well, actually, no. Here's no. I got it.
I'm fully in support of the clarinet.
I have an idea, maybe.
Is there an exotic instrument we could use?
I am not touching that.
What?
No, just that.
Touching
no,
what?
Let's see. So maybe we'll go to synth.
Synth.
Let's see. So let's actually try synth real quick. Wait, pads are usually good.
No.
No, yeah. Let's see. So
clarinet is on beat.
just make sure. Okay.
Maybe the triangle?
The pitch triangle. I mean, could. But why though? Why though?
The
It's the best.
pitch triangle.
What is that? That sounds like a sound that we played oxen free.
Wait, it's actually called the triangle? That's what the instrument is called?
What?
It's called the triangle?
Yes.
You didn't know.
Do you not know this?
I thought it was just a meme name for it. What the heck?
So we don't really want a pad actually. Let's try. Okay, so if we look at let's actually try it. Let's see how this goes. So obviously we're gonna need to tune this down because that's way too loud. So, okay, but this could actually sound good with everything else. Yeah, actually, I like where this is going. I like that extra, kind of that roughness. I love the sound of guitars. Okay, there we go. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, okay, there we go. So, there, duplicate, duplicate, because we know it's the same rhythm. Da, 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 Let's see, so. So now, like, yeah, I think we'll may have more prolonged. Oh yeah. Alright, so let's see how this sounds. Not with the loops. There we go. Cool. Okay, so that's actually, I kind of like that. I like that. Let's see. So maybe one thing that we can do. Oh, here's one thing we can do. So what we can do. Let's see. So I just highlighted all these first notes, right? So rather than ba 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 ba, let's throw in some 60 notes. Like what if we did like, yeah?
Can we throw in a triangle?
Sure.
Thank you.
Sure. Okay, so we're gonna do this real quick.
Like a single triangle.
Sure.
Thank
So
you.
we're gonna move these over here. So now
Oh
we
my
see
God.
like,
Oh god.
so we got that, right?
Yeah.
So now let's just move these all down an octave. Wait, okay. Now let's move those all down an octave, right? So now
That's pretty good.
let's see. So so now let's copy. There we go.
And then triangle.
Cool. Alright, so what I'm gonna do is actually I'm just gonna lower volume on these just to make sure that we're focused on So now I'm actually gonna lower these two for a similar reason. Just to make sure that the focus is on the higher end. Cool. So let's actually let's just see what this sounds all together, just out of curiosity. So you can probably throw in like some octaves there, I'd imagine.
You should triangle roll right here. And then, there it is. There it is. Wait, no, it
No, hold on.
Where is it going?
Okay, so we're gonna just.
Dot wab.
Dot wave, yep.
The triangle dot wab.
So what we're gonna do is
It's not even a pitched instrument, it's just a wab.
you know, the problem is that comes in too soon, so we're gonna need. Let's see. Yeah, we're gonna put this in here.
No, there needs to be something right in between. One of the tracks gets one more beat in, and then it goes into triangle.
No, I'll say.
Like have the green one get another one in.
Wait, what? Like,
Have the green track in the middle.
yeah.
Have like one more, like have that note extend, like have the first note play and then the triangle.
No, I think that I like
No.
I like having it just cut out.
See what happens. Try it, experiment.
Like this, you mean?
Yeah, and like one, and then it does the first.
What's the first note?
Yeah.
Yeah, like this.
Yeah, try that. It works.
Well, the thing is, so that sounds too final, right? So the reason I'm saying that we wouldn't do that is because we do something like this.
Oh no.
Let's see. So we do like. Let's see. So we do something like this, I think. So oh, okay, yeah. Let's see. Yeah, here's how it would go like this. And then it would go into the chorus or something like that. We can do that, but like I think that this is kind of like the general work process minus the triangle, I think. But so you know what, if we're already memeing, so like we're gonna do something fun, I think. So like
I just want to put it out there, like
Yeah.
this has been eye-opening because I've been doing like completely crappy versions of this, trying to like put music into my game. I need this. I need like it just. Everything is better when you just show them.
yeah, so like those beginner-friendly softwares. Like don't get me wrong, those are very nice for kind of getting some first steps into kind of like how it works. But I think just with how much power this has, the biggest difficulty of this is just the learning curve. There are plenty of tutorials out there that kind of like help you through that, as well as like, hello, I do this, so ask me anything.
Well, like all you need to do is right click and click quant.
All you need you just right click and quantize. That's all.
Yeah, that's all you need to know.
Listen, also all I'm saying is that you
need-
just make every track of Megalovania.
Wait, can you download all the sounds?
So the thing is, so some of these cost money, some of them come with Ableton Light.
So the triangle probably costs money.
No, the triangle probably came with Ableton Light. Like these probably came with Ableton Light. Maybe some of these, I'm not sure. Like let me
But
actually.
the ones that you have in Light, can you download them all and upload them into Unity?
Is in like when you say like download this is the WAV files. I think so. I think
Because I spent so long doing that, like it just
so I
sounds
think
so bad compared to this.
yeah. So I think what you can do is let's actually see here. So let's actually let's see. So some of them you can, some of them you can't. Like things that are sampled, I think you can, because the way samples work is that they actually took they took an audio, they took someone playing it, and then they matched it up to the minis. So you can actually extract out the audio files from there. I don't know how to do it right off. Cool, okay. So a quick note about video game music and looping, because looping is very important in video game music. So like for instance, one thing that we could do is like, let's just play, so we're at the very end of the song, right? So it goes back to the beginning. It's fine, it's like reasonable, but we could make it a little bit more cohesive, right? So what we're gonna do is like I move the loop over a bit, and we're going to copy paste all this over. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to delete all of this, because if we like listen to this this vibe, like this part, like so. So that actually sounds like a kind of finished phrase, right? So let's we'll just drag this out, and now just to be sure that it doesn't take up too much space, we're going to just decrease the volume of this. So we will do this, drag this down, and we'll do this. So that'll fade out. So now what we'll hear so we can do the same thing for this too, probably for this guitar part. Or we can write a new guitar part. I would probably at this point I would probably just write the guitar to have a part because I like the sound so much. But for these purposes, first run, let us do this. Okay. Boom, boom. Boom, done. We're going to make this last 2 beats. And then we're going to do the same exact fade out here. So let's see how this sounds. Now we'll loop. So that actually loops back a lot better. Or we could just have it play another time at the beginning. Like that's also fine. Like we could do like. And now it goes back to the normal part. And this can just keep going. It's like its own self-contained loop. So this is obviously a short track. Like probably what I would do after this is I would have it move to a B section similar to like what we again Megalovania. Like some sort of kind of chorus section because this still feels like it's just building up. But for these purposes, this is sort of like the way I approach what I would do for this case. Also, I love this guitar. I love the guitar sound so much. Anyway, but yeah. So as I was saying before, now would actually be a good time for people that want to dig into some of the more music's particular things I was doing. What do people want to talk more about? Yes.
Can you set the tempo to 180?
All right, let's go. It's 182. Even better for you or me.
That is the number.
Oh right, because I got a
You
track.
sold it. I sound so good.
All right, real quick.
No, I don't need the whole thing.
No. You'll see why I'm doing this, Rumi. You'll see why I'm doing this. You'll see why I'm doing this. Because this is gonna, you will like this a lot more, Rumi.
It's so good. What is it?
Just trust me. Just trust me.
Oh God.
What is happening?
I'm making this drum part sound more like it's a part of Eurobeat song.
What is that reaction?
So just to be sure, because I need this one. So let's just build the bass drum a lot.
Oh God. There it is.
This is how you make a Eurobeat song.
That's so nightmare sounding.
Yeah,
Like, that's like the last thing if you
if I were trying to make this fucking Eurobeat.
What?
I would do this. There we go. Let's just mute this for a second. Something along those lines. I don't know. But yeah, so there you go. You happy now?
Yeah.
There you go. Okay,
It's
cool.
the final boss theme. It's the last one.
No, we don't want to keep the fucking bass drum on all.
The bass drum is
So
fine.
what? Like what? No, because it's just like
Yeah.
it works for a particular case, just not for this. It's too many. But yeah, so what other things? What do people want to talk about actually? Because I'd definitely be happy to talk about the more music aspect of it, or like some of the more like theory aspects if people want to.
How much of your musical creativity comes from the fact that you just like know how to play the keyboard and like you can just riff on it?
So the thing is, I actually don't think I'm like, personally, I don't think I'm that good of a keyboardist, like, because like, I mean, there's some things I can't, like, I mean, I can do something just because, like, I got okay at it by doing this. Like, it was very much, like, the other way around for me.
Right. Because like, you're
Like,
trained as a percussionist.
I was trained as a percussionist, so like a lot of rhythmic stuff. Like, so I did like marimba and like a lot of melodic stuff.
And
that way.
triangle.
And triangle, yes, because of orchestra. So a lot of my background was much more rhythmically rhythmically attuned. I'd say the biggest thing that helped me with this was actually, like, for instance here, Music 51, particularly 51B, helped me so much because a good way I heard people describe it was learning music theory, like particularly Western music theory in this case, like helps you kind of like understand like the foundation of a lot of stuff. like it kind of that helps you. It helps get you into that mindset and kind of like get your foot in the door. But then once you know it, once you start creating, you don't have to think about it. It's just kind of like it's not that like you're subconsciously following. It's just that like you kind of using that as like a leaping off point, which is I think a very healthy thing to do. But it doesn't have to be Western music theory by any means. It can be like any sort of music stuff, like whether it be like jazz, rock, whatever it is. Like any sort of foundation is good to get your foot in the door. I'd say. Yeah. Well, what other questions or what other things do people want to talk about? It can be about like the music itself, like how like maybe how like whether it be like approaching other types of music. Like what do people kind of want to hear about?
Do you ever like add layers to songs, like existing songs? How do you go about that?
So like as in like if I took this like had this song and then did other things to it.
Or yeah, like remixing.
Remixing I haven't done. Oh well, remixing is in like using the initial. Okay, I'll say that later. But as in like using the initial like music, I don't do much of that. I've done a little bit of like remixing in the sense of like I'll take in a pre-existing melody and then like directly do something with it. Let me actually save this real quick. Presentation. What's today's date? 16th. Yeah. So like over the summer, I did. I'm not sure if anyone here has played Tales of the Abyss. There's like a song in that, for instance. So this one was much more out of my comfort zone personally, because like I'm used to like, because like a lot of what I like to do is like a lot more of the upbeat stuff, right? Is this gonna? You feel like working there, buddy? Feel like working here, buddy? Oh right, I forgot about this. Yeah, because I have a bunch of crap. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn this off for now. Actually, let's just. It takes up so much memory. Okay, cool. So what I did like sort of for this, like let me actually look up Tier's song, Tales of the Abyss. Great game, by the way, highly recommend. So this one was like, so first thing I did is I transcribed it. So I kind of took what I hear here, and I just kind of like put it out on paper. I just kind of like, what am I hearing? What was the initial intent of the song? Then the next, so you can sort of hear that, like in like how I arrange this. So like for instance, the very beginning begins with sort of like a bell section. So which is like very similar, like in terms of like the raw notes that's being played there. But I had like a particular vision for it, so I kind of took this idea, and then kind of like, and then I ended up morphing it later on, based on kind of like what I heard, what I sort of like, because like what I wanted more like kind of like electronica, but sort of like lo-fi-esque sort of song. So I kind of like so a lot of it involved just kind of like playing out things, like improvising over the melody, and kind of seeing what happens. And you'll kind of hear it here. So I kind of like start with like essentially I kind of got a harmony that accompanied it pretty well, and then in this case, once I so like we kind of hear that come back, and we like so for this a lot of this was transcribed, start from the melody, and I kind of like found a harmony that kind of worked for what I'm doing, and then I kind of went from there and I ended up kind of like soloing a little bit. Because like this isn't part of the original song, but like for this I just want to solo it over this like constant like chord progression. So that's kind of like what worked for me in this case. Other types of music would work probably very, very differently. It very much depends on the style you want to go for, I would say. Cool. In terms of like I think you talked about layering a bit. Layering is pretty important sometimes if you want to like have like fuller sounds. Like let me see if I can find an example. This one's a good one, I think. I don't want to save it. Actually, no, I do this now. Well, whatever. So this one, let's see here. So let's. So actually, we'll go to here. So it's so do instead is we could layer it together with another guitar part, and let's see how it sounds. So kind of so it just sounds a little bit fuller when both of them are together. So that's like a pretty important part of particularly with guitar parts. Guitar parts is layering is super important to get like that full sound. What other questions do people have or things that people want to talk about? If not, we can probably just wrap it up.
Any questions?
Is there like a specific normal, like just a, what's the, like the normal genre of like music that you normally like?
Yeah, for me, like probably sort of like action, kind of like, I wouldn't say genre, but more like boss style, like action sort of music. That's probably like, that's that's, I'd say where I got my start, and that's what I really like to do. Like very high tempo, high tempo, pushing forward sort of songs.
Like Megalovania.
Like Megalovania. Like honestly, yeah. So that's probably where I get a lot of my inspiration. Also, let's see if I can, no, I don't have it on this computer, so. Otherwise I would, just for the Eurobeat purposes for Ruby, otherwise I'd pull that up, but.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sam.
Thank you.
This is awesome. All
Thanks
right.
for listening.
Yeah. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Retweet.
Retweet.
Subscribe. Ring the bell.
Yeah.
All right.
Bell.
See you guys.
Damn.